So we are here in the UK and we just went on a trip to Bath and then on to Wales. Basically the goal of the trip was to get in the festive spirit, go see some Christmas markets and see tons of castles. So I'm gonna take you along with me. First we set off for Bath, but we stopped along the way in Avebury because they have this manor house that they apparently had dressed up for Christmas. So of course we had to take a tour, had to get in the festive spirit. And right outside the manor house, they had the most epic standing stones I've ever seen. Like, they were huge. And apparently it's the largest standing stone circle in the UK. It's 28 acres around. And it's funny because they actually built the town inside the standing stone circle. So like, roads went through it and houses were built inside of it. Then we finally arrived in Bath, and the reason why it's called Bath is because there are ancient Roman baths that were found here. So the Romans used the natural hot springs in the city of Bath to create like these massive spas where everybody could come and take baths and enjoy. They basically believed that the baths were cleansing and that they helped heal people, which is really cool. After touring the Roman ruins of their spa, we went out to enjoy their Christmas market and got some mulled wine, enjoyed some fake snow, listened to music, went around to all the different shops. It was really, really beautiful. And I didn't film this part, but we actually went to a spa where we got to swim in the same hot springs that the ancient Romans got to enjoy. But of course, there's no filming allowed, but that was really amazing. We got to take a bath in Bath. The next morning we drove to Wales, and the first thing we went to see was Tintern Abbey, which was built in 1131, but in the 1500s, King Henry VIII kind of departed from the Pope in Rome and changed religions and everything, and so he ordered all the monasteries to kind of be torn down. So it is now in ruins, but it did take away from its epicness. Next, we went to our first Welsh castle, which was Chepstow Castle, and it was built on this cliff overlooking a river in the town of Chepstow, of course. And it's actually as old as the Tower of London, built in 1067 by a Norman invader. The Normans basically invaded Lower England and they took over London and built the Tower of London there, and another Norman invader went over to Wales and built this castle here. It was upgraded up to the 1300s, but the oldest part of this castle is from back then. Then we drove to the capital of Wales, Cardiff, and went to go walk to see their castle. But on the way, in the park next to the castle, was another set of standing stones. Now Cardiff Castle was also built by a Norman invader, and it was built on top of an old 3rd century Roman fort. And actually this happens a lot in the UK. They just build right on top of a Roman fort, or like in the exact same spot as a Roman fort, or like a castle was built in an area and then they decide to build another castle in that area. It's just common because most forts, even back in the 3rd century, were built in really strategic spots. So like on the top of a hill, or on the top of a cliff, or near a river, you know, things like that. But in the 1800s, the Marquis of Bute redid and remodeled some parts of the castle so that he would have a place to live when his family was in Cardiff. Because our goal was to see as many castles as possible, the next day we headed over to Castle Coch, which was also built by a Norman invader in 1081. But it was kind of almost in ruins when the Marquis of Bute, again in the 1800s, decided he was going to remodel it and make it his summer home. Then we were headed to Caerphilly Castle, which we drove up to and we were like, whoa, because it had a massive moat all around it and it was just a massive castle. It was exactly what you think a castle would look like or should look like. It was insane. It was right in the middle of the town. Well, now it's right in the middle of the town, but it was built in the 1200s by Gilbert de Clare, who wasn't Welsh. Actually, he was English. So throughout its castle's history, it was like the Welsh took it back and then the English took it back, and it was like a back and forth handoff, and basically it led to its current destruction, which is why it is in ruins. And on our way back, we stopped by the cutest village ever, which I've literally wanted to go to for like 5 years since I saw Instagram pictures of it, because I was like, this has Harry Potter vibes written all over it and I need to be there. It was called Castle Combe and it's in the Cotswolds, and it's just beautiful. I loved every single moment of that trip. It was absolutely epic. It took me like 3 days to plan because you kind of have to figure out like what's on the way to where's the castle, like can I go here, how long does it take to get there. It's a lot of planning that goes into it, but that's what I do. I plan all of our trips, so it was really fun for me. But we had never been to Wales before, and I liked it a lot. I definitely think there's more to be seen in Wales. We only went to like a small part of it, but the castles there were like insane. And that is it. I cannot wait to show you guys where we're gonna be spending Christmas. Whole different place. It's gonna be a delicious vlog in itself. And thanks for coming along for our trip, our ride, our journey, and I'll see you next time. Bye.